Welcome to Talk to Me, Conversations with Brenda, the Solutionist. Today's guest is none other than Lisa Ducharme, the 15-minute results coach, my partner in everything that is absolutely fabulous. Today's show is sponsored by none other than Tiny Tales, Big Triumphs, How Animals Show a Super Strength. Chapter by chapter, this book will take children on an extraordinary journey, introducing them to a diverse array of animals who embody the true meaning of strength and perseverance. Tiny Tales, Big Triumphs, How Animals Show Us Super Strength is a book that will inspire young readers and adults alike to discover resilience through the remarkable stories of animals. It's available on Amazon. You can get it there today. Hi, I'm Brenda, the Solutionist, and I can't wait to have this conversation with my friend Lisa that is just going to have everyone thinking just a little bit differently. So I'm going to bring Lisa up so we can have an amazing conversation about, do you know your target audience? You know, so many people nowadays have no idea that knowing your target audience is not a one-shot deal. It is something that is ongoing because people change, people grow, people want something different. So let me bring Lisa up and we're going to have this conversation. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Brenda, thanks for having me.
You know, it's always fun when it gets to be you and I. You and I. Anyway, because now I'm back to interviewing entrepreneurs that make a difference, have an impact, and that are employing ethical business practices and sharing tips with the audience. But what I love best is when you and I get to share because we got a lot to talk about. I'm going to start off today with one of my favorite slides that I did today, which is, what are you doing? Why are you looking lost, disoriented, perplexed, confused? You know why? Because they don't understand their business. But before I show the slide on that, Lisa, do you know how many times I talk to people on a weekly basis that are going, oh, Brenda, I want to have a YouTube channel. I'm going to do an Instagram. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I ask them, what are you doing? And they are clueless.
You know, I will say that list is long and distinguished.
It really is, Lisa. And today, because I wanted people to actually be able to do something with this conversation and actually uh, uh, develop their target audience information, my slides are a little text heavy because I'm going to leave them up a little bit so people can pause and actually use them because we've got an action step at the end. So I'm going to start with the first one. Understanding your business. It's about defining your brand niche, identifying your products and services, and setting your business goals. Lisa, can we talk about those three things and whatever else for you that is about understanding your business? Because the reality is, you and I both talk to people on a regular basis that have no idea what their business is, what product or service they're even offering.
What's interesting is when you talk about your target audience, most people immediately jump to the buyer persona. And that's because a lot of people keep talking about the avatar. But really, if you think about your business and you think about your buyer avatar, your target audience, and everything else, what is the main foundation of that? The main foundation is, what is your real business? What is your niche? What are your products and services? It may seem so simple and almost like a no brainer. But if you actually don't identify what that is, then you end up actually doing 100 different things instead of just the one. You're finding 100 different ways to say the same exact thing. Stop. Say it one way. For me, my brand and my niche is very clearly executive results coaching. Boom. It's not any more complicated. If I want to focus on productivity, which I can, then I can bring in my productivity and AI productivity portions. But they all fall underneath the main umbrella of my brand and my niche, which is executive results coaching. And if I say that, the reality is, and the next question is, well, what do you sell? Are you selling a product? Are you selling a service? And at that point, you have to decide, Do I talk about just one product or service? Because a lot of us have multiple. I have my productivity, AI productivity courses and coaching. I have my executive results, which is actual coaching, one-on-one. I have team building, etc. So you do want to write them all out, but you want to make sure that you know exactly what they are and you're saying the same thing over and over. And if you don't address the goals, then you miss the entire foundation, because the goals of what you do wrap it all up.
So let me get this straight. As an executive results coach, you're not targeting moms with twins.
No. Well, that's actually not true, because moms with twins can potentially be within my target market if they are senior executives.
Okay. But
If
I guess when I say that, I'm glad you pointed that out. But I'm just saying, for example, your campaign won't be geared to, hey, moms with twins, let me show you how you can do double with a little bit of time. You're going to be talking about the things that are unique to an executive that may be a mom that has twins. And so oftentimes when I am talking to people, I will see stuff that they're doing that has absolutely nothing to do with what they say their business is, and their messaging is all wrong because they're not clear on their niche, they're not clear on their product or service, and they're definitely not clear on their business goals. But that will lead us to the next thing, Lisa, which is understanding your audience. Are you talking to the right people? Do you know who those people are? And there's three areas that I thought we should discuss while we're talking about our audience. And we're going to start with, what do we got to start with? Demographics, the age, gender, location, the income, education, and occupation. Lisa, why are those things important to know about your audience?
you know what's interesting is many people tell me, "Oh, Lisa, that's a waste of time." I don't. How do I know what age of the person I'm targeting? How do I know what their income level is? Why do I need to know that? All of that's important, because if you're doing an ad, you want to focus it towards that particular target market. Mine is professionals in their 40s to 60s. So I have that realm. If I wrote ads and did my marketing for the 30s, for people who are in the 30s, I'd be completely off, and I certainly wouldn't get the attention of any of my target market. The income level is important, and a lot of people say, "Well, I don't know the income level." Everybody has to know an income level. Who can afford your service?
There you go.
And that's where you want to focus on the income level. These are critically important topics, because if you don't know exactly what you need in the demographic area, when you go into Facebook or any other type of publicity or marketing, social media, you're going to miss your target audience and spend a lot more money than you need to, because they do have the age bracket breakdown, they do have the occupation, they do have the education levels. So that's why that aspect is so important.
And that income level is real important, because it does you no good to be selling a product for $5,000 and you're targeting the people that don't make $5,000 annually. So that's important to know what your demographics are, and those particular things of a gender or location and income, education, occupation, and their age are so important. The next area, Lisa, that I thought was important to share with people was the psychographics. This was one that threw me off when I first heard about it, but it's about people's interests, their values, their lifestyles, their pain points, and their motivations. Lisa, when I first heard that, I thought that's silly. But then, as the person that was teaching me this began to talk to me personally about my age, my gender, my income, my education level, what was I interested in? I don't think there's a person that's ever listened to more than one or two of my videos that cannot figure out that I'm obsessed with guinea pigs. So
That would be true.
if you know I'm obsessed with guinea pigs, you already know that if you're selling a product that has a guinea pig on it or talks about a guinea pig, I'm probably going to purchase it. That would be a really good thing to know if you are a guinea pig merchandise seller, you know? So also, you know that I'm obsessed with reading. Look at all the books behind me. All of that paints a picture of who I am and what my lifestyle. I like things that are casual and cool. You won't find me with a lot of makeup on. I like lipstick. That's about as good as it's gonna get. So you're not gonna sell me any eyeshadow. So if you're trying to figure out what um, product or service you offer that I would purchase, you definitely want to know my interests, my hobbies, my lifestyle, my values. I'm a servant leader. I'm all about giving. I live in an attitude of gratitude. So if you don't know my values, again, how could you properly market to me so that you can get me to go to Ching and open my purse?
Yeah. And that's so true. And in my world, I wouldn't focus on the values of the servant leader. I focus more on the busy schedules and the demanding workloads. And that's why values are so important, because you're going to target your marketing towards those psychographics. And when you think about the pain points, I was talking with a client the other day, and we were talking about pain points, and they said, well, they really don't have any pain points because they're, my target market is 150,000 plus. And I
Mhm.
said, everybody has a
Everybody
pain.
has a pain point.
If you do not have a pain point, then you have already failed your business. You have already failed in your
Mhm.
target audience, because you have to. The pain point for my particular clients are they feel overwhelmed, they feel scattered at work, they're having trouble just managing life in general. And that is the pain point for my target market. Sometimes you may struggle with the pain point, but think about what you created, what your product or service is,
Mhm.
and how that's helping that pain point. Because if you don't have that pain point, it's not going to be there. And the motivations is so important, because remember, we're in a world right now where everybody is pinching their pennies.
Mhm.
So what's going to be their motivation to actually step in and buy your product or service? They may want it, but what's their motivation, and can you make that marketing work towards their motivation?
And you know what, Lisa? I found that across the demographics, the pain point can sometimes be the same for someone in a $5,000 bracket as well as a 10 or 20, 30, 40, $1 million bracket, because everybody, regardless of their level, I found, are trying to find ways to save money, save time, and save energy. They're trying to be more productive, do more with less. They're finding those things that uh, will make their business run better. And since we mostly here deal with entrepreneurs and small businesses, for me in the Solutionist portal, their pain point is trying to find those connections that are going to be meaningful, that's going to help them move the needle so that their business can thrive and not just survive, so that they can network with a purpose and develop the type of clientele that's going to help them actually generate revenue. So when I do things within the portal, I want to do things that meet that pain point and understand that their motivation is that they want to make money as well as make an impact. It's not just about the money for the people that come into the Solutionist portal. They really are about community. So knowing that is really important to make sure that I provide a service that would draw that type of customer. The next
But
thing,
also,
yes, ma'am, go
before you
ahead.
go on to the next thing, the other thing that I think is important in reference to the Solutionist portal, because I want to bring in this hook.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is your target is also the passionate entrepreneur, because a lot of times entrepreneurs can't find the foundational things that they
Mm-hmm.
need. And you actually include that in when you're going through such as a training like this. And so when you think about a passionate entrepreneur, you have to remember you also want the action takers, because
Mm-hmm.
taking somebody's money just to take their money doesn't benefit anybody.
Doesn't benefit me at all. Because, I'm all about people and making sure that people actually make the transformation. That's why, to me, closing that gap between their desire and their reality, to me, is making sure that when they get to the other side of where they really want to be, that is a place that they desire to be. Because for me, I really want to see people do business their way, have an opportunity to create a work life harmony, because I often say I don't believe in balance. I believe we can find that thread that allows us to have thriving and whole and healthy personal lives, we can then translate that into our business life because we will align our core values and our beliefs up with our business practices. Because if you have a belief that family time is important, then when you set up your business, you'll actually have a clear work schedule. Like you may say, I'm going to work from 9 to 5. And at 5:01, everything shuts down because now it's family time. My kids may have homework if you have small kids, or if you don't have small kids, your significant other may now have access to your time because you've ended your workday. And a lot of entrepreneurs don't make that mental adjustment to know that they can do business their way and create environments that work for them as well as their families and not lose revenue in the process. And that will bring us to our next talking point, which is about people's behavior. It's about media consumption, your buying habits, your online behavior, and your brand preferences. Lisa, when I looked at the behavior stuff, and it's like knowing where your target audience gets their information, what magazines are they buying? Like for me, today when I came past, I smiled a little because I realized I have a very diverse reading when it comes to my magazines and stuff. Like right now, I have the keto diet book up there. I have yoga on my table. I have Essence magazine. I have So News, I have Threads, I have Forbes, I have Success Magazine, I have Writers Journal, Poets, Where Women Creates. That's just this month's magazines. Oh, Better Homes and Garden and HGTV. Come on. So someone that would look at me, I'm kind of all over the map because I have a lot of interests. But for me, that means there's a lot of people that I would fit into their target when they got to that part. If you use just the metrics that I'm a diverse reader. As far as my buying habits, I spend. I'm an online shopper. Amazon has my name in the parking lot. Brenda Warren, here she is. How do I do on online? I'm I'm a diehard Amazon purchaser. So if you're going to say Temu or one of them other places, you're not going to get my money. You need to know that if that is not where you're going to be housing your product. I'm not buying stuff off of TikTok. I want to know where I feel safe to spend my money. And that's something when you do the research, you'll find that certain older people in my age group are very careful about where they online shop, where younger people will online shop across platforms. Having a brand preference. Lisa, I've never been into designer anything. I buy what I like. And I'm pretty frugal when I do make my purchases, but I've never had to have name brand stuff. So if you came up here and told me you wanted a certain designer purse or something, I probably wouldn't be your target audience. But now if you said, hey, here's a nice leather purse and it's a reasonable price, then that would be something that would work well for me. And if you don't know that and you're selling a high-end purse and you're coming to me, you're not going to get my money.
And I think that's how that nicely rounds out the target audience, because your products and services are diverse. If you just took one segment of any aspect of the target market, you wouldn't be able to find your target audience. And that's really what you need before you even get to the buyer persona, before you even create your avatar. The behavioral is so important. And you can tell the person's behavior just by what they like, what they don't like on social media. And so I find that one, the behavior is very interesting. And you actually have to have the other pieces, not just the buyer behavior, that melds in nicely with everything else.
I think what's important about this too, Lisa, is that as I have been talking to more and more entrepreneurs lately, I find it very interesting that they're not willing to do the next thing that we're going to talk about right now is do your research. When we first started, we had pictured on this particular slide the truth about how to save money and time. It's amazingly simple business tips to help you, because Lisa and I remember, Lisa, how we were just getting all the software, getting all the things. We did the most because we didn't take the time to research. Now We are extremely big on comparing apps. There's a app called Get.app where you can compare apps side by side. So you know all their functionality, their pricing, what they do, how many people they service, if you can have teams. Taking the time to do your research, I can't stress it more. It's so important because it will save you time, it will save you money, it will improve your productivity because you're not wasting your money on products or services you don't need. Sometimes just simply asking another business owner, what is the mail campaign software that you use? I started off with MailChimp, Lisa, because it was free and it allowed me to do all the things I wanted to do. But I recently switched to Flowdesk and I love it. It was an upgrade that needed to happen based on where my business is going now. You have to not be stuck with things, you have to be flexible. And in reference to all the stuff we've talked about so far, is why I wanted to show this slide so people can get an idea when it comes to doing researches. It's important to do customer data, market research, and all about social listings. Having these additional resources in addition to speaking to others is priceless.
I totally agree. I think the reason most people don't do research is because they don't know how to do the research. So, one of the things that I'm very big on is using the free resources that are out there, like your small business development centers, your SBA reps, for veterans, your Veteran Business Outreach Center. Ask them for an IBIS World Report. This has all types of analytical data, client data, market research, competitor, has that information in that one report. It's a really great report. Very few people do it because what they do is they try to go online and get it themselves, and it's like $1,000. But you can get it for free if you go to the small business development centers, your local SBA, or your if you're a veteran, like I said, the Veteran Business Outreach Center. Anybody who helps businesses will often be able to pull those for free because that's just a resource that they have. And I think that it is extremely, extremely difficult to do your own client data research. However, one of the things that I really like is watching social media. If my target audience is a certain realm, that's who I'm going to watch on social media to see. But I also like to send out lead magnets to find out what people like and what they don't like. If I get a really good return on a lead magnet, then I know that chances are I'm going to sell that product. Sometimes you have to do what they call test A and B, which is your cover makes a difference. I don't care who you are, what you are, your cover makes a difference. So create 2 covers for whatever it is you're doing, and then put one out, see what results you get, put the other one out later, see what results you get. By doing lead magnets, it can help you with your research.
And lead magnets are one of the easiest things people can create now. It's sometimes just as simple as a checklist or an information sheet. A lead magnet can actually be a quick reel or video as long as you're directing them to a place and doing a call to action that asks them and gives them a place to put their email so that you can capture that. One of the biggest mistakes I made in the beginning, Lisa, was not capturing emails and capitalizing on the people that wanted to know about my product and service because I didn't want to be bothered with emails. But that's a whole nother training we're going to be doing later on down the road. But I did want to mention that because that is a good way to determine who's your customer. When you put something out, the people that are interested in you, your product, and your service will leave their email to get stuff that you put out. So that's a great way to do market research by doing polls in your social media, asking people, what do you want to hear from me? What's working? What's not working? If I was to provide a class or service, if you're a digital entrepreneur, what do you want to hear or see? Asking questions, doing surveys, getting feedback is a very easy and free way, in most cases, to get information from the people that are already watching you so that you can develop things and grow your your expertise, show your experience, get them to trust and like you, and also promote your authority. Lisa, one of the things that I love about what we do and you, because you have Take Action University, this is my next slide. Take action. We want to make sure that when we are getting you guys information, we want to give you an action step. And here it is. The action step today is we're going to ask you, based on the information we're providing, you go back and watch the video, slow it down, pause, and look at each screen. And we want you to create a buyer's persona, also known as an avatar. We want you to validate your findings, and we also want you to refine your target audience. Lisa, can you talk about that? Because here's the thing. So many people, they watch these trainings or they pay for trainings, and then they do the one thing we always say at Take Action University that is important. You have to be an implementer.
Yep, because and that's true. And I think one of the things when people watch this video, one of the things they're going to do is they're going to be so overwhelmed. They're going to be overwhelmed because they have not been able to, nor have they created their target audience. Mm-hmm. Use AI, folks. Use AI to create it. Take all the different segments that she gave you, and then ask AI to help you with your target audience, and then create your buyer persona. People call this also the client avatar. This is really who your ideal client is. And I want you to really think about that, because that's who you're going to focus your marketing on. You're going to go ahead and create the marketing on that. It will also help you refine the message, because believe it or not, when you look at the messaging that you've done the last 3 months to include your call to action, if now you look at it from the perspective of your target audience, how much are you changing? Was your previous post, were they not geared towards your target audience? Was it something that you did that was just easy for you to do, and not even within the realm? There are a lot of times I see different things. I am completely fine with you putting a guinea pig video on your thing, because that's stress relief, right? That's self-care. Every once in a while, throwing something fun is acceptable. But if you are selling cats and yet all you have is guinea pigs on your social media, we got a little bit of a problem. Now, your name would probably be Brenda Warren if that was the case, but I'm kidding. But that's you really do want to think about it and really refine the message, and then develop some targeting marketing campaigns. You don't have to do the paid campaigns. You can create yourself a campaign based on your target audience and your avatar, and then go on. You can use AI, because that is literally one of the best things to use to help you, because we don't know what we don't know. And if we're really struggling with who our target audience is, write up everything that you do. I don't care how much it is. Write it all up, and then ask AI to help you identify your target audience.
And know that you can have fun with it. Because see, as an example, if right now I was going to advertise for one of my clients who has Cat World, I'd be like, if you love guinea pigs, that is great. But at Cat World, we have no guinea pigs for you today. You simply come on down and we have cats of all shapes, sizes, and they're perfect for you to do. So you just have to find a way to do. But if you like guinea pigs, you just go call Brenda Warren, because she has tons of them. So the key is you got to have fun with it, you guys. I want you to think about it. My client avatar, I have several of them. I have one named Brittany. She's a Christian. She has 2 kids. She watches HGTV, does DIY. She loves to garden. She reads Better Homes and Gardens. She makes $150,000 a year. She has a college degree, probably a bachelor's, working on a master's degree. She has varied interests. She has an easygoing lifestyle that allows her to wear, elevated casual, because she has 2 very small kids. She doesn't have time to watch a lot of social media. However, she posts all the time because she loves taking pictures of her kids. That's how detailed. When you get that detailed, It will help you really hone your message in so that you are targeting the person that's going to open their purse to you and give you all that hard earned cash that they've had to hold on to. So if you really want people to buy your product and service, take the time to do your research and create the personas, avatars that are necessary to develop your target audience personas and avatars so that you're marketing to the right people. Lisa, I want to say that today I really enjoyed doing this overview with you, but I also want to let people know this is just scratching the surface, believe it or not, because you can get even more detailed. And we do just that in my life community and in the Soulutionist portal. If you're looking for an opportunity to go take a deeper dive into each area and to get checklists and support for that, you can join the Soulutionist portal for $97 a month, no contracts. You can also come into the life community. That's where we leverage impact for entrepreneurs for absolutely free and kind of get an idea of the things we do before coming into the portal. Whatever you decide, we're here to support you. You have any final thoughts on developing your target audience, Lisa?
One of the most important things I can say is develop it. And don't just put it to the side. When you develop it, I want you to use it and make sure everything that you do actually connects with that target audience. And over time, it will become very natural. It'll be really rough at first, but do it anyway. Suck it up, and everything will be just fine. I promise. You will eventually get the hang of it. You will eventually say, I get it. Now I know why this is so important, because that target audience is who you are aiming for. It's kind of like, do you want to become a sharpshooter? If you look at your bow and arrow sharpshooters, you've got people who will never hit the target. Well, those are the people who don't know their target audience. If you know your target audience, you can hit the target every time.
I love that, Lisa. And as always, thank you for coming to join us on this episode of Talk to Me. Remember, the choices you make today will be the reality you live tomorrow. So choose wisely and choose to get clear on who your target audience really is. Be blessed, everyone. See you next week.